In today's English lesson, you are going to learn all of the ways Americans use duck in English. And I think there are about 8 different ways. So, of course, we will talk about duck as a noun, but it can also be a verb. And you might hear the phrasal verb duck down. We have a couple other things we'll talk about, like spider webs and webbed feet and a duck's bill. But we also have some idioms that we might use. There is the verb duck. But what does it mean if something is like water off a duck's back? We'll talk about the term sitting duck. We'll talk about the phrasal verb duck out and a few more. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that like button. And if this is your first time here, don't be afraid to subscribe so you never miss another English lesson. Okay, we are going to start off easy. Duck as a noun. There you go. We have a picture of 2 ducks. I think one is male. I think one with the green head and the yellow bill. We'll talk about bill in a minute. They're the boy ducks. They are male ducks. They look a little prettier than the female ducks. So, duck as a noun, it is an animal. It is a water bird with webbed feet and a flat bill. We saw ducks swimming in the pool. Sorry, we saw ducks swimming in the pond. Might be kind of gross if a duck was swimming in your pool. But in that definition, I talked about webbed feet and a flat bill. So let's take a look at webbed. In English, we have things called spider webs. Spiders will weave webs to try to catch prey, to try to catch little bugs to eat. But ducks have webbed feet. Those are what webbed feet look like. And we also talked about the duck's bill. It's just another way to say like its mouth. Also, if you are looking to take your English to another level, I am offering one-on-one coaching sessions. There is a link in the description for more information and also a link in the comments section. Now, let's get into the way we use duck as a verb. It means to lower quickly, probably to avoid something, just like that boy is doing in the picture. He is ducking so the ball won't hit him in the head. It also means to bend down quickly, usually to avoid being hit or seen. Maybe you are hiding from someone, so you will duck behind the couch. There we go. Here is a sentence describing that picture. He had to duck to avoid the flying ball. I asked AI to create a picture of someone ducking down so a person behind them can see the TV. I'm not sure if they did a great job. The picture doesn't exactly make sense, but that man in the picture is ducking down in front of the woman with the remote control, but the TV is behind them. It looks like they are watching a soccer game. Could you please duck down? I can't see the TV. And there is nothing worse than going to a concert and being behind a really tall person. I think it would be rude to ask them to duck down so you can see. Sometimes you might just have to bob your head from one side to the other to see the stage. Okay, we have some idioms and phrases that we use duck with. For example, like water off a duck's back. What does that mean? When criticism or problems don't bother someone. So like somebody is saying bad things about you, but you aren't worried about it. It's just like water off a duck's back. He doesn't care what people say. It's like water off a duck's back. Sitting duck. This is not a good one. You don't want to be a sitting duck. It's an easy target. Someone who is vulnerable, that means they could be easily hurt or easily hurt. Take a look at that picture. It's a little dark, but you can see a police officer, and it looks like he is surrounded by bad guys or criminals. So we might use this sentence when talking about a sitting duck without any backup. The officer was a sitting duck. When you hear backup and police officers, that means police officers who are coming to help. That is what backup is. Duck out. If you would like to sound more like a native English speaker, you might want to try using this English phrasal verb, duck out. To leave quickly or secretly. She ducked out of the meeting early. Who knows? Maybe she had an appointment, or maybe she just thought the meeting was boring. I must admit, I have ducked out of a few boring meetings in the past. Please don't tell my boss. What does it mean to get your ducks in a row? Means to get organized or prepared. In about 2 months, I will be visiting India for the first time. I need to get my ducks in a row before I leave. I need to pack. I need to apply for a visa. I need to do a little research on what New Delhi is like. We need to get our ducks in a row before the presentation. I hope this is true when it comes to learning English for you, to take to something like a duck in water. If you think about ducks, they are probably very comfortable in water. So this means to do something naturally and easily. She took to skiing like a duck to water. And I forgot to mention earlier when we talked about like water off a duck's back, I'm not sure if you've ever actually seen a duck in water, but the water really just rolls off a duck's back. It doesn't stick. But when talking about taking to something like a duck in water, I really hope you take to learning English like a duck takes to water. In other words, it would be really easy for you. But of course, learning English is tough. It takes a lot of time. Keep up the good work. Now let's talk about this noun, a duck call. A duck call is a small tool that hunters blow into to make a sound like a duck. It helps bring ducks closer. Some people in the United States will hunt ducks. They will kill them and eat their meat. I have never eaten duck before. Please let me know in the comments, have you ever eaten duck? And if so, is it good? Let's use a sentence with a hunter and a duck call. The hunter used a duck call to make the ducks fly towards him or toward him. I've never really watched this show, but there is a show called Duck Dynasty. I think they make duck calls. I think they've gotten rich making duck calls for hunters. Let's take a look at a paragraph to practice your English reading. Duck Dynasty was, okay, so it's no longer a TV show, was a reality TV show about the Robertson family in Louisiana. They became rich by making duck calls for hunters. The show followed their funny family life, business, and strong Christian values. It was popular for its humor, beards, and Southern culture. And when that paragraph talks about Southern culture, they mean the southern part of the United States. We also have a state in the United States called Oregon, and their biggest school or college is called the University of Oregon, and their mascot is a duck. I hope you have enjoyed this English lesson about ducks. If you are looking for more English, right down there is another English lesson using one small word, and that small word is whiz. Like, do you know what it means if someone says, I need to take a whiz in English? Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.